So the Kansas City Chiefs have won Super Bowl 58 over the San Francisco 49ers. At the time I'm recording this, the game ended a little over an hour ago. And yeah, they won at a score of 25-22 in overtime. I know in the modern NFL of high scoring and all that, a final score of 25-22 doesn't really seem anything that would blow anyone away in terms of like, oh my God, great game. But this game truly was spectacular, just the back and forth, specifically in the fourth quarter. In the first half, it was low scoring. It was 10-3, San Francisco up. 10-3, they were up 10-0 at one point. Chiefs got a score at the end. Then in the third quarter, the Chiefs really dominated, and the San Francisco 49ers weren't doing jack shit. In fact, the San Francisco offense looked so bad that you will go on Twitter and you see that Sam Darnold was trending just because Brock Purdy in that offense was looking pretty damn pathetic in that third quarter. And the Chiefs, just in classic fashion, how they always do, just managed to come back, got a great turnover on a special teams play after San Fran had to punt the ball. But then in the fourth quarter, you just had a good old fashioned back and forth. And I don't mean like a high scoring, like each team scoring like, three touchdowns or something like that in the fourth quarter. I just mean just some classic feeling football in terms of being strategic, fighting for every yard. Coaches making some gutsy decisions. And San Fran, after just a dismal third quarter, ends up getting like the lead and all that. And just feels like they're just trying to hang on for dear life against the Chiefs because you just know that aura of Mahomes. He's just got it, man, in terms of being able to come back from anything. Just truly spectacular. That aura of Mahomes and them winning this game just in the fashion that they did and how, you look at that resume in terms of him, three-time Super Bowl champion, two-time regular season MVP, three-time Super Bowl MVP. The guy, Tom Brady, he's got to count down the days because Mahomes is definitely going to be coming for him just in terms of how Mahomes played and just so many clutch plays in that fourth quarter and overtime. I do, before I get too much in the Chiefs, though, in terms of San Francisco 49ers, oh my God, what an just absolutely heartbreaking loss. I mean, obviously, they had the loss to the Chiefs a few years ago. They lost to the Ravens in heartbreaking fashion in the 2013 Super Bowl. And then in this game, I mean, forget about the early 10-point lead. I mean, that's nothing against the Chiefs. Just in the fourth quarter, it just felt like they were hanging on for dear life, just saying, oh my God, we can't let Mahomes get the ball back, or we just got to fight just because we know we're up against a dynasty, the team of a generation. And just one play really, I think, really kind of bit them in the ass in this game. And I don't really see a whole lot of people talking about this in terms of the post-game commentary. Maybe two people are too scared to criticize coaches or whatever. But when it got to the point where the game was tied, it's the fourth quarter, still regulation. They have the ball. They're in Chiefs territory, where obviously they can get a field goal. But I think there was like a minute and 56 left or something like that. Or maybe it was actually at 2 minutes, right at the 2 minute warning. Who knows? But the basic thing is that it's 3rd and 4. They got the ball. You're in Chiefs territory. And the fact that, you know that the Chiefs, they got two timeouts. It's going to be under 2 minutes. You would think that, you know what, just that aura of Mahomes and you're already in field goal range, just run the ball. Run the ball, chew up time, make them use a timeout with two timeouts and a minute and change, almost 2 minutes left. Just so much time. And yet for that play, that 3rd and 4 in Chiefs territory, they do a passing play, it fails, and then the Chiefs, obviously no time goes off the clock, and then the Chiefs end up getting the ball back, tying the game, even though they almost got a touchdown to win it. And just that play from Kyle Shanahan, I was just like, what kind of play call is that? In the moment watching the game, I'm just saying, this is it right here. Not only do you need to score, obviously you want to get that, score to go up, but you got to make sure Mahomes ain't get the ball back. And at all costs, just make things as difficult as possible for when he does get the ball. And the fact that they ran the ball, threw the ball there, I'm telling you, not a lot of people are talking about this. In the moment, I was just like, that's just a devastatingly bad play. It's great that they make the field goal to go up 3, and you're saving yourself to where, they need to get a field goal can only tie you, touchdown will beat you. But still with Mahomes, you give Mahomes a minute 50, whatever, two timeouts. All he's got to do is get a field goal, and they're obviously going to go more for that. You can't do that. But then the game goes into overtime, and amazingly, it's the first time we get to see the new overtime rules. The first time we did get to see the new overtime rules after that epic Chiefs-Bill divisional game a couple years ago, where both teams are guaranteed to possess the ball, even the first team gets a touchdown. And this was the first time that this strategy really had to get talked about in terms of maybe in overtime, it's probably better to, if you win the coin toss, defer to where you get the ball second. That way, you know exactly what you have to do in terms of you need a touchdown or you need a field goal. And even whatever you get, whether the other team gets a touchdown or a field goal, the fact that you know that when you have that ball second, I mean, it's four down territory, because you can't, it's not like you can punt the ball away. If you don't get it, game's over. You got four downs to get either that field goal or a touchdown. So I think this is something that after people watch this game, if there's ever another postseason overtime game, which there obviously will be, and I'm glad they did this rule change to where both teams are guaranteed to possess the ball. I think teams now are going to look at it and say maybe strategically it's better to punt the ball away. But I can't kill Shanahan for that in the moment just because it's just like, it's the first time any team has really dealt with this overtime rule. And I think going forward, teams are going to look at the from punting the ball to, make sure punting the ball to guarantee that when they get the ball next, they know they got four downs to get either that field goal or that touchdown. So really bad for Cal Shanahan just because he's had some really just heartbreaking losses in the Super Bowl. He was the offensive coordinator when the Falcons blew that 28-3 Super Bowl, just some inexplicably bad play calling and all that. He was obviously the coach of the Niners when they blew the 10-point lead. It was 6 minutes to go, the fourth quarter against Kansas City the first time around. And obviously this game was just all time. I think just the all-time heartbreaking. I'm not sure if I'm going to say it's more heartbreaking than the other Super Bowls he's lost. Just the fact that they've lost that Super Bowl to the Chiefs 4 years ago. And it just felt like in that fourth quarter and overtime, they're just hanging on for dear life. And they were so close. But I really do think that that play where they decided to run the ball when they had that 3rd and 4 and there was about 2 minutes left, that 3rd and 4, when they ran it instead of throwing it, I just think that that's where the game was really lost for them right there. As far as the Chiefs go, definitely a dynasty now. When anytime you get to three, that's a dynasty. Obviously, they were on the precipice of a dynasty, and people have been talking about from years. But I think you got to get to that number three. As super impressive as it is to get to 4 Super Bowls, win two of them, when you get to that number three, whether it's three in a row or winning every other year, three is that magic number. It's where you got a dynasty. And obviously, being the first team to repeat since the Patriots did it almost 20 years ago. It's crazy it's taken that long for a team to repeat. All-time stuff. Mahomes is definitely all-time quarterback. I think at this point, I would definitely, before this game, I would have had Montana ahead of Mahomes, but I think this game puts Mahomes above Montana, even though Montana has one more Super Bowl than Mahomes, because you can just watch and see Mahomes is just better in that way. He's just like, yeah, Mahomes, number two. Like I said, he's coming for Brady. He's going to take, I think, probably a couple more Super Bowls. If he can get to five and just in terms of just the eye test look, you watch Mahomes and you're like, yeah, he's definitely got it in terms of being the best. I think that would push Mahomes over the top in terms of being the GOAT. So that's definitely going to be fun to watch. As far as the CBS broadcast, and this is something that just really kind of got me as the game went along. Just NFL, can y'all just grow the fuck up when it comes to constantly showing Taylor Swift? I don't think people have an issue with Taylor Swift being at these games if she's really into Travis Kelce like that. Hey, two young kids in love. Hey, whatever. That's fine and good. You can show her a couple times, whatever. Show her at the beginning of the game, maybe show her at the ending. You show her at the post-game celebration, whatever. That's fine. But I wanted to do a count of this as the game went along to see how many times they would show her. And during the actual broadcast, like actually during the game, when from quarter one to into overtime, it was a count that they cut to her 15 times. 15 times? Are y'all fucking serious? It's like, just grow up. Who the hell wants to see any person, any player or coach that's actually playing or coaching in that game 15 times? There's other celebrities that are there. Granted, none of them are dating one of the players on the Niners or the Chiefs, but that just became super annoying to where if you did a drinking game every time they cut to Taylor Swift, you would be plastered by the end of this game. Granted, the count was a little inflated because of the overtime, but still, it just got to the point was like, this is ridiculous, style. And you know what? To its credit, there has that you can do research, or you can see that there was a, according to Roger Goodell, the Taylor Swift effect on the NFL in terms of up to viewership and all that, and that's cool. But I think for people that just want to watch football and all that, it's just like you don't need to be constantly cutting to Taylor Swift every single time during the game. That got to be a little annoying. The actual other stuff that goes with the Super Bowl in terms of the commercials were fine for the most part, but nothing special. I've definitely seen years where there's better commercials. The Super Bowl halftime show, absolute fire. You know, Usher, that boy, he absolutely killed it. He was a great performer. He was way better than Riri last year, Rihanna, which, you know, I like Riri, but being pregnant while doing the Super Bowl halftime show, probably should have backed out at that point. She was pretty terrible this year. But Usher, that boy put on an absolute show. The people he brought out, bringing out Luda, bringing out Alicia Keys, bringing out her. I mean, that whole team, everything just came together great. That part where he was on skates, I was like, oh boy, this is. I was everyone in that I was watching the game with was, or that show was just like, oh boy, he needs to get off those skates real quick because something's gonna go bad, and you can tell that it almost did. He almost had a little slip up there. So overall, this was definitely a classic Super Bowl right here. You know, during the times, definitely in that first half and parts of the third quarter, that looked like it was going to be kind of ugly, but it was just, you know, it was just felt like good classic football. In that fourth quarter, just great stuff, great back and forth, and just that aura and legend of Mahomes just really took hold right there to where now it's just like everyone just put it on the count. You know, count your the days, the years, the minutes, the seconds till he passes Brady, because it's definitely gonna be fun to watch now that he's got like 3 championships, 3 MVPs, all the Super Bowl appearances, just the eye test. He's just like, man, this is gonna be exciting to watch in terms of watching someone that has a legit chance to pass Tom Brady. Which when Brady retired or when Brady got to 7 Super Bowl wins, he's just like, holy shit, how the hell is anyone ever gonna pass that dude? But we have a guy that from the eye test has it, and now accolade wise, he's got it in terms of being on that right trajectory. So that's going to be fun to watch. Overall, Super Bowl 58, nothing to complain about. Well, definitely a super great game. I could have done without the 15 cuts to Taylor Swift. Maybe I'd have been like 4 or something like that. That would have been reasonable, but 15 was just a bit much. And I'm no Taylor Swift hater or something like that. I just think showing any non-essential player or coach 15 times, that's just crazy. There should be a whole lot of fun at Disneyland tomorrow. It's already confirmed that Patrick Mahomes is going to be there. That got posted at Disney Parks. He did the classic "I'm going to Super Bowl" bit. But man, if Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were to be there at the parade, which there's a possibility they might go. You know, I went a couple years ago when the Rams won, and you had Stafford, Cooper Cup, Aaron Donald there. So it's not always just one player goes. It was just one Mahomes last year at Disneyland. But given all the attention and just the unbelievable business it would do for Disneyland, I'm sure that they tell Taylor Swift, hey, we'll do whatever you want. I know there's not much you can offer someone who's got everything like Taylor Swift, but the type of stuff that it could do for Disneyland, oh, it'd be truly spectacular tomorrow. So I'll definitely be there and I'll showcase that footage. But as far as Super Bowl 58, definitely a spectacular Super Bowl that I'm super happy to have finally gotten off this year. I've had to work the past couple years, but this one was definitely super good all around. I had a great time watching this classic Super Bowl. I'm not sure if I'm just trying to think about if it's the best Super Bowl in the past decade or so. Obviously, the Patriots Falcons one was the most spectacular in terms of the comeback, but as far as a back and forth kind of game, and you know, maybe I don't want to get too hyperbolic about this one because it was really only great for that fourth quarter. That fourth quarter was really cool, it's classic football, but maybe now is not the time to rank it. Just enjoy it. It was just fun to enjoy. It's super cool, super fun, super exciting, and historic for some reason. Super Bowl. Well, maybe not that historic, but you know what I mean.